Well, hello everybody, it's me Mark at the Science of Wellness, and I've got something quite exciting to share with you. So I've called this Mission 5 Million because that is essentially what is at the heart of what I'm going to be talking about today. In about the next 10 to 15 minutes I'm going to demonstrate to you why we stand at the forefront of nutritional breakthroughs, why it's imperative for you to be thinking about proactively taking control of your own health and well-being, and why it's good to be doing it with us. Are you settled in? Are you sitting comfortably? Do you have a pen? Okay, so when we're considering a business model, we need to be looking at such things which are very, very relevant, very, very important. So why don't we find one of the biggest problems in the world and we'll try and solve it? Sounds crazy, right? Well, it is, but one of the biggest issues in the world right now is the fact that millions of children under the age of 5 years old are dying every year just through to malnutrition. That's not anything, that is a preventable issue. Malnutrition is a preventable issue, and we are taking on that problem with innovative new solutions. Innovative, I can even say that word, but in brand new technologies we are going to be looking at solving the world's issue of malnutrition. Now we stand on the forefront of some of the world's most advanced scientific breakthroughs, and I'm going to share them with you. Listen, I'm not going to practice this. I'm a little bit nervous about doing it, so I'm just going to rattle on. Hopefully I will find my sense of flow as we go on, and I will keep you engaged. And we're going to tap into the purpose of community. What is community? Community is common unity. We're going to take one of the world's biggest problems, being malnutrition. We're going to try and solve it with a brand new technology, and we're going to get everybody involved. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Does that sound interesting? Yes or yes? Yes, it does. That's good. And we're going to ask you to get involved as well. More about that later. Let's start to have a look at the issue. Malnutrition kills 5 million children under the age of 5 every year. That's a UNICEF fact. That's not a marketing spin. And about between a third and half of all childhood deaths are linked to malnutrition. This is a serious issue, but there is now a solution. So where does malnutrition begin? Is malnutrition an issue that's reserved for third world and underdeveloped countries? No, it's not. Malnutrition is an issue which is probably in your own home. Where are you getting your 10 to 15 fruit and veg every day? We're not talking about 5 a day. We're talking about the need to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 fruit and veg a day now, just to have your body to live in this toxic environment we now call planet Earth. And we're going to cover that a little bit later for you as well. Did you know that 75% of all sicknesses and diseases is nutritionally related? Yes, it is. Only 25 of those are generic, which means 75 of those sicknesses and diseases. Now remember that disease isn't necessarily about having some itchy, leprosy, it's about just having dis-ease. So what's the definition of wellness? The definition of wellness is effectively a sense of well-being, and that's what we're looking for. The definition of health, on the other hand, is just the absence of sickness. So what we're looking to do is to build our wellness and therefore eradicate the opportunity of sickness by just being well and maintaining healthy. However, 75% of people don't do that, which is why they become sick and ill, if that makes sense. Everybody needs to now begin to take a proactive approach on their health and well-being, because the environment we live in today is not the environments our bodies were supposed to maintain what I call homeostasis. Now homeostasis is that optimal function of all of your systems and your organs all working in harmony. That's what we're looking to do. So where do we get this from? Now please bear in mind, and this is really, really important, that primitive man was fruits, veg, legumes, nuts. There was probably a little bit of the shit that we eat now, and I'm trying to think of the right word, like grains. Grains are some of which we're now eating more and more. Our grains aren't necessarily very, very good for us in a nutritional sense, but everything that nature intends for us to be living in well-being can be found in nature. And I think Paracelsus, the father of pharmacology, really does get that point across. I think that was about 1300 BC he said. That's quite a long while ago. Did you know that your body does require 26 vitamins, 72 trace minerals, numerous fatty acids and amino acids? Now we know these. We go into any supermarket now and we see vitamins and minerals. We can look at cornflakes now and we can see vitamins and minerals, and we can look at dog food now and go vitamins and minerals. You know what, you can even look at shampoo now and you can see vitamins and minerals. It's irrelevant. Those are all garbage, and I'm going to explain why in a little while, but they are important. But what's important is where you get those from. 72 trace minerals. Every vitamin does need a mineral synergist. They work together. It's called the phytomatrix. It's very, very important. Fatty acids, we've heard of omega 3, 6s and 9s and all these things. Did you know that your brain was quite made up of fat, and it's needed for all those functions, and certainly joints and stuff like that, and amino acids as well. Amino acids are the precursors to protein, so they're very, very small products, if it's enzymes, if you like, or microbes that then they build proteins, if that makes sense. Now, we've also discovered that since 1984, I believe, let's have a cup of coffee while we talk here. This is quite important. In 1984, there were the discovery of essential glyconutrients, which are essential for your cell-to-cell communication. So let me explain what this means to you on the board here. Let me get my marker pen and I'll show you. These scientific breakthroughs are called glycobiology. Let me just explain to that. So this is what your cells in your body look like, okay? Now we can talk about cellular and how the cell surface is made up of the nucleus and all that malarkey, but those are effectively the outer skins of your cells. And actually blood cells, your skin cells, your organ cells, every single cell in your body looks a little bit like that. However, on the surface of these cells, there are these little hairy microbes. Imagine that you've got a boiled sweet and you chewed it a bit and you roll it around on the carpet. It's going to come out a little bit furry, isn't it? That's effectively what your cells look like. And these communication strains, if you like, from those cells, those communication strains are made up from those 8 essential sugars. Those 8 essential letters make up the complete communication for your cellular network. So let me show how important 8 is. I can do the whole alphabet. I can create the whole alphabet with 4 shapes. With 4 shapes, the whole alphabet. So let me draw 4 shapes. So from there, I can produce any letter of the alphabet. Pick a letter. K. Long one. K. D. A. Z. W. Q. Can you see? So we can see how with 4 shapes how our communication system can be quite thorough, because that is effectively our alphabet. Consider how delicate that information, how complex that information would be if you had 8 shapes, which is effectively what we have with our 8 sugar molecules here. We know that glucose, you've all heard of glucose, it's prevalent, it's everywhere, there's too much of it around. The other ones are now less and less in our food chain due to farming, but I'm going to come back into that. Mannose is the key one that was discovered in aloe vera back in the early 80s, and that was the one that unlocked the rest of this dynamic here. As you can see, this nutrition actually citation goes back to 1994. So all of those minerals and vitamins and everything else that we've just discussed right there have to come from your food sources. So we were told to eat 5 a day, right? Yeah, well, 5 a day back in the day when things were a little bit more nutritious might have been the way. Nowadays, in today's modern farming in 2018, we're looking to not 5 but a minimum of 8 to 10 fruit and veg a day. 8 to 10 fruit and veg a day is now your minimum daily requirement because of the way that foods are being created, and that's an uncomfortable truth for some. That's very much an uncomfortable truth for some. Let's have a look here. We will just be able to see that the nutritional deficiencies of some foods. So broccoli, looking at calcium, and looking at folic acid and magnesium, has been about a 63% reduction on nutrient value in broccoli from 1985. In case of potatoes, there's been a 59% decrease in calcium and magnesium just from potatoes. Carrots is 41%. You can do this yourself, but what you can see is that there is now a reduction of the nutrients available in our fruit and veg. These are proper, factual, uncomfortable truths, I'm afraid. So let's have another look at that just in a realistic point of view. 1951, 2 peaches would provide an RDA. It would be 53 peaches now. No disrespect to peaches, but it's disrespect to the way peaches are now picked and they're shipped and they're farmed out, so the nutrients, containment within a peach is very, very low, as you can see from spinach as well. So why is that? Well, that's a very good question. When you pick a piece of fruit and it tastes quite sweet, that sweetness is actually when the phytomatrix of all the nutrients are alive and kicking in that thing. So when you pick something from a tree and it tastes sweet, that is really where all the nutrients are. They're in that sweet taste. The reason is now is that we're picking things like pizzas, we're picking them raw, we're picking them when they're not complete, we're shipping them around, and then we're saying, actually, listen, we can ripen these at home. They're not ripening at home, they're decaying at home. They stop ripening the minute you cut them, they just begin to decay. So we can see that there are some realistic, uncomfortable truths in the amount of vitamins and minerals that are available to us in our diet today, which is why we need to start supplementing. And what else is there? Well, there's our lifestyles and our stresses. Stress is an important factor. Do not underestimate the power of stress. Do not underestimate the power of your lifestyle when it comes down to your homeostasis, when it comes to your overall sense of well-being. Processed and junk foods. Listen, let me give you a little tip. If there's an advert for it, probably don't eat it, because it means that you've gone and bought it and it's already prepared. So processed and junk food, you've only got to look at the state of kids today to understand that these things are happening. Green harvesting, which I've just mentioned to you, that's where we pick tomatoes raw, we ship them around, and then we go, they're ripening at home. They're not ripening at home, they're decaying at home. Depleted soils as well. Now, there are places in America where sadly they will pick a crop in the morning and they will have it harvested, they will have it ploughed, they'll have phosphorus put in the soil, and they'll have it replanted that afternoon. That is a depletion in soil which is producing no mineral content whatsoever. Pesticides and pollution. I'm afraid it is no longer possible to say that living organic is okay. Inorganic matter has been found at both the North and the South Pole. Just because there's no intentional pesticides going on your crop doesn't mean that there are no pesticides on it. And actually, pesticides, organic or not, is no guarantee of its nutritional value. Actually, did you know that? Environmental toxins. Oh, we could talk for hours on this. I think there's 153,000 inorganic synthetic compounds have been added to the food chain since 1953, and all of those things are now getting into our water system. We're now living in an environment which is a lot more toxic, so we have to begin to be more proactive when we are looking at our health. Prescribed medicines as well. Did you know that even an aspirin will deplete the mineral systems, will deplete minerals from your bones just to keep your blood system clean? Yeah, that's anybody you know that's on a pharmaceutical drug because of their wellness, I'm not saying they should come off of them, but they need to start supplementing to make sure that their body has those minerals which those prescribed drugs are going to pull out the system. And why that is because it wants to keep your blood system clean, but that's another story altogether. This is just a headline, and I don't want to keep you too long because it's just some of you have asked me, and I thought it's easier to do a video than just try and explain to you by email. Still with me? Good. Thank you for listening, Mum. Brilliant. Okay, well, we have a solution, folks. We have a solution. I'm going to choose my words very carefully here. Nutrivirus is the world's most advanced real food technology supplement on the planet today. It is the world's first and only dietary supplement that is made 100% from food-derived products. I'm going to choose my words very carefully. Nutrivirus is the world's most advanced real food technology supplement on the market today. It is the world's first and only dietary supplement where all of the nutrients have been derived from food sources. It's made from real food technology. It's the only one made from 100% food. I'm going to come back to the others in a minute. It contains the essential nutrients. It contains all of the amino acids and everything else that we spoke about earlier on. A little bit more about the self-service structures. So our Nutrivirus product is a foundational product that has all of those building blocks that you require. The only thing it doesn't have in it is omega-3, because that's an oil, and we show there's another product which is Amiga. I may do again, but you take them both together, but we just talk about Nutrivirus for now. Nutrivirus is your cellular communication, your cell-to-cell communication is part of Nutrivirus. Your vitamins, your minerals, your amino acids, they are all part of Nutrivirus. It is scientifically proven to improve brain function. It is scientifically proven to give a sense of overall wellness. There are double-blind placebo scientific tests done on this product and its effect on you. So let's just look at that. So cell-cell communication, again, we're going heavy on this because it's so important. Are those cells communicating right there? Are there some sugars missing? Well, let's look. Let's look at that again. Benefits. That's what your system will look like now. That's where a lot of diseases and illness comes from, is your cellular dysfunction and your cells not being able to communicate with us. Let's have a look at what it looks like when you are completely deficient, or you are completely efficient, I should say. How important are glyconutrients? Well, you can read this for yourself. I don't really want to just read off the slides, that would be boring. So while you're reading this, I'm going to have some coffee. I'm going to try not to slurp it, and I hope that you've read that. Good. Okay, now let's talk about the stuff you're taking right now, people. This is where it gets a bit uncomfortable, because 95% of vitamins and minerals, probably even more than that, are synthetic compounds. They are synthetic compounds which have been derived from the mining industry, from coal tar or oil-based products. Have been derived by coal tar or oil-based products. What you see in some of the health food shops today, won't mention any high street health food shops, Doodah and Doodah, whatever they're called, their vitamins and minerals are synthetic. If you're buying from a company that says that their products are completely 100% natural, their vitamins and minerals are synthetic. If you're buying from anybody apart from me, your vitamins and minerals are going to be synthetic. I'm sorry, but that is pretty much the case. There are sciences coming through. Certainly I'm interested in talking to people about some hydroponics of plant-based minerals, which is what we do. So I'm afraid to say the uncomfortable truth is 99.9% of you right now taking supplements are taking synthetics. Does it matter? Actually, it does matter. I could scare you with some research done on some vitamins and minerals. I'm not going to do that today because it's not a scary presentation. This is an overview, but again, you're more than welcome to ask me about that at a later stage. So the best way of testing your vitamin or your mineral is to put it in the oven. Put it in the oven for 10 minutes at 350 degrees and see what it comes out like. Because actually what happens is that the oil where the stuff comes from begins to show, because oil will begin to degrade. Have a look at that slide there and you will see that is a very, very real way of testing how well your vitamins and minerals are. And if you actually look third up from the bottom, that's one of our products there, the Phytomatrix. As you can see, it's a real technology solution. There is no oil in it. It hasn't revealed itself under extreme temperature. That is a real test. That was real test that's done, and that is actually what happens. Your bodies were meant to absorb vitamins and minerals from plant sources. I'm not going to read off the slides. As I've told you, we are the only company that can provide this, and we do it with Nutrivirus. Antioxidants, oh my life. I mean, what can we say about antioxidants? I'm going to just let you read through this because there's no point in me just reading off of a slide when you can read the slide for yourself. I'm going to have more coffee. Provides 200% more protection than 10 servings of fruit and veg. Now that's actually on your blood system as well. How do we make our stabilised rice bran? This is a proprietary new technology. We have the ability to take the husk of the rice bran and turn it into something very, very extremely exorbitant for your body that is stabilised and standardised. What I mean by stabilised is all the nutrients are maintained, their structures are maintained, so they haven't collapsed and they're no good for you. So it's about stabilising. So when you take some of our products, it's as if nature had just picked it because they are stabilised. Does that make sense? Goody good. I'm glad I'm making sense. Okay, there's all the other bloody good reasons you should be taking it as well. Glyconutrients, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, real food base. La la la, people. I mean, you just can't buy this stuff in the streets, guys. You can't buy it on the streets, you can't buy it in the shops, but you can get it from me, and you can get it from the person that's told you to look at my video, because they are part of my visionary team that are creating Mission 5 Million. Mission 5 Million is not me on my own, it is you, it is people you know, and this is the benefits that your body will be getting from Nutrivirus, the world's most advanced nutritional dietary supplement available on the planet today. I'm actually drinking a cup of coffee. Look, I'm not willing to do this again, so this is a one-shot take. I'm not going to rehearse it, so you just have to bear in mind I'm just keeping it as real as I can. Now, this is the Amiga product. I know that one or two people have asked me about their Amiga intake as well. We do have the highest quality fish oils available in Europe. That's a scientifically proven, validated claim I can make there, and as you can see for yourself, you know, it's got everything you need in there. And 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can take these products risk-free for 90 days. If you come back and say to me, Mark, do you know, I've been taking this stuff now for 3 months and I don't feel any different, you can have your money back. What did you just say? Yeah, you can take this stuff for 3 months, keep all the empty pots. If you're not feeling any better, you can have your money back. That is as strong as we feel about our products today. Do you know how many people have had their money back? Only one. And do you know why they did? Because they didn't like the taste and they didn't drink it. What can I say? What can I say? So looking at the social entrepreneur model, I don't want to spend too much right now looking at the business model. I want to deal with that with you on a one-to-one basis. But let me tell you that we have a unique business model with a unique product and a unique benefit to those of us around. Because the fact of the matter is, kids, people are being lied to. 45 vitamins and minerals put into cornflakes are not the answer to malnutrition. It doesn't work. It does not work. Mana Relief and our Mission 5 Million does work. It is working, and it will work for you, it'll work for your family, and it'll work for the people that we'll be helping, because you've got to get involved as well. So we donate through consumption. So as I said at the beginning, if you want to join Mission 5 Million, you take care of your own health and wellness in your own house. You take up an automatic order to make sure that you and your family are maintaining that you've got products in the cupboard every month. We're not asking you to buy more than you need. This isn't a pyramid scheme. This is not a pyramid scheme. You're not going to end up with a cupboard full of stuff. Order every month. What you order every month will turn up every month, and then we will feed a child in the orphanage every month as well. That is part of Mission 5 Million. It's going very, very well indeed. We have documented. If you want to look at Mana Relief, I would suggest that you do have a look at Mana Relief and see the good work that they're doing. It's pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that is pretty much it from me. We're involved in 24 countries, so if you know anybody in any of these 24 countries that you care about, that you want to be getting fit and wellness and having good health and optimal living and homeostasis, let them know. Show them this video. How you can help. Become a regular customer. That's all we're asking. I'm not asking you to join the business. If you want to join the business, you can do. For now, it's about you feeling better. And then once you feel better, it's about you saying, do you know what, I actually want to be taking this every month. That's all I need from you, really. Recommend a few friends as well, and then we'll reward you for that as well. That makes pretty much sense. Guys, this is the mission. This is Sparks Malarkey. I don't know how long this has taken. I'm going to just put this out there as a one-shot deal. This probably will be the first, and I probably will redo it eventually at some time. But for today, that's it from me. You know where to get hold of me.